Hi everyone, this is Ross Sharma, and in this video we're going to look at a common problem that arises with the VLookup formula, and we're going to look at how to fix it. So let's write out a couple of VLookup formulas just to see what the problem is. So the formula is VLookup. I'm going to look for this ID in this table, and the column index number is 2. We're going to get the first name, and this argument can be false. So it returns Jimmy, and this formula seems to be working correctly. So what seems to be the issue? The issue is that if I move this column at all, so one way to do that would be to insert a row over here. Now my VLookup is not returning the correct value anymore because it's still looking in the second column, even though my data has moved to the third column. Okay, so is there a way for me to write this VLookup formula in a way where I can move these columns around any way I want and have this VLookup still work? Feel free to pause the video here and try to come up with something. There's a link in the description if you want to download this file. So here's the answer. The problem with VLookup is that the column index argument is a value and not a reference. So I'm talking about this number 2 right here. This is the column index number. So it's not a reference. And a reference would be something like this first argument or this second argument, which are actually pointing to other ranges in the workbook. So, and one of the advantages of using references is that if I move the referenced range, the formula will automatically update and point to the new location. I'll give you a quick example of what I mean. So for example, in this cell, if I reference the cell B1, and then I move the cell B1, which I can do by dragging it, we'll move it over to D1. You can see this formula still works, and it's updated, and now it's pointing to D1. So is there a way to supply this argument, this column index number, using a reference somehow? And here's one way to do that. We can use the column formula. The column formula takes a single argument, which is any cell or range, and it tells you which column that cell resides in. So for example, if I do column of D1, it returns me 4 because it's in column number 4. So instead of writing a 2 in my VLookup formula, we could replace it with the following: column of something. And that something is going to be the column header of the column that I want to reference. So this would be this cell right here. And I'm going to make that an absolute reference. So now if I insert a column here, for example, or if I rearrange these columns in any way, the VLookup will still work because it's using a reference to determine the column index. So this allows you to rearrange the columns in your workbook anytime without worrying about messing up your VLookups, which is great, especially for large or complex workbooks. It's good to have that flexibility. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you came up with a different solution, I'd love to hear what it is. Please like, comment, and subscribe if you'd like to see more content like this. Thank you for watching.